Hey everyone, in this video we're gonna be making Portuguese bean soup. By the way, don't forget the soda crackers. Alright, for starters, we're gonna take some Portuguese sausage and we're gonna dice it up. Now, this is a big Hawaii staple, and if you're making this somewhere that you can't get Portuguese sausage, you know, you can use andouille or dry Spanish chorizo. Those are similar. You'll get a good experience. Lightly brown the Portuguese sausage, also known as linguiça. While that's happening, I got some onions and we're gonna dice them. You know, they can be rough cut, roughly, you know, 3/4 of an inch or so. You know, precision's not something you have to really worry about with a rustic soup like this. But we'll go ahead, the onions go in with the sausage. As the fat comes out of the sausage, it's gonna help brown and caramelize and get those sugars, you know, lightly browning in the onion. You know, you should also hear the pot sizzling. If you don't hear sizzling, then the likelihood is your pot is not hot enough. Okay, added some chopped garlic, and now we're gonna go ahead and cut some carrots. Now, the proper way to do this would be to prep all of your vegetables first and then make the soup. But then the video would be really boring, so I'm prepping and cooking at the same time for you. Okay, we're gonna go and add some carrots in there. Now, I added the onions to brown. I'm adding the carrots now to lightly brown, and it's important to do it this way because they have low moisture content. And the moisture, if it goes in there too quickly, will start to deglaze the pan and it'll drop the temperature quickly. So the celery, which has a lot of water, is gonna go in last. And really, it's not really gonna brown. So I'm putting it in there to kind of warm up, but I really want to put this after the carrots and the onions. Get that in there, get it all kind of incorporated. We'll stir it up a little bit. The flavors, the smells are starting to come together. Now we're going to add in our ham hocks. These are smoked ham hocks. Now they're going to give you flavor, and also the gelatin that comes out of the ham hock will give you mouthfeel for the soup. Chili sauce, or sambal, or also known as sambal oleg. Adding our kidney beans, and I add the liquid with the beans. I don't drain those out because it does add flavor. Crushed tomatoes, and then tomato sauce. Now, if you don't have one or the other, you're welcome to use, you know, if you only have tomato sauce, then don't let that stop you. If you have tomatoes at home, chop them up and throw them inside. Then we're adding stock or chicken broth. So we'll stir this to let it start to come together. Then we're gonna bring it up to a boil and then lower it down to a very slow simmer, and we wanna let it go for about an hour. Now, what's really important, as it's simmering, you'll see here that it's gonna start to have impurities come up to the top. You wanna make sure you keep skimming that off through the cooking process. Once it's gone for an hour, you need to take the ham hocks out of the soup though and let them cool so we can use them later. Now, what I'm gonna do is I have the potatoes and the cabbage, and I didn't put them in the beginning because an hour would completely destroy them. So I'm now gonna add the potatoes in, and then we're gonna let those cook till they're just done. And then we're also going to take the cabbage and do the same thing. Now, to me, cabbage is one of the really important things that makes a Portuguese bean soup. So I love to put a lot in there, and you know, feel free to make big chunks and put them in there because it gives it like a lot of body and flavor and texture. So we'll kind of stir it together. As you can see, the soup is starting to get really hearty. We'll let it cook so that the potatoes and the cabbage can cook. And while that's happening, we'll start working on the ham hocks. Now, these have cooled off. I took them out. I lightly rinsed them so they're easier to work with, but I'm gonna peel off the skin, and then I'm gonna look for all the little nuggets of meat, and I'm gonna peel those off of the bone, and then we're gonna dice them. Now, some people like to put the skin in the soup. I do, because it gives you know, it has a nice texture, nice chewiness, but that's optional. You know, you can maybe put them on the side if you're not sure, but I think it gives it much better texture and flavor. Let it come together, and the final touch is I put the pasta in a little at a time because it likes to suck up soup broth. So, you know, if I'm gonna serve some right now, I'll put some in. I might even put some in the bowl separately that I'm gonna pour the soup in. But I try not to put it all in at one shot. Portuguese bean soup is like one of those iconic Hawaii dishes that everyone should know how to make. And when I think about Portuguese bean soup, it just reminds me of like cold nights or rainy days or going camping. So there's a lot of nice memories attached to it, but the dish is really cozy and warming and comforting at the same time. One of the things I like to do is cook the macaroni separately and add it in as I eat it so that it doesn't completely get mushy or keep swelling. I think that gives it a really delicious experience. I like mine a little bit spicier, so I'll add a little bit more of the chili garlic sauce or chili sauce to give it a little bit of spice. But other than that, one more thing. When you make it, as much as possible, make it the day before, because the second day, this thing is amazing. So those are all the key things about Portuguese bean soup. For more recipes like this, visit us at foodland.com.